What's going on, Fitness Together family? We are rolling into December. It is Nick, and as always, Kyle, for our movement mobility series. Let's bundle up for the winter, and let's get ourselves prepared to feel good and feel better. We're going to start off with what we call a couch stretch. So, obviously, we don't have a couch here in the gym. We're going to get the closest we can, which is everyone's favorite, our rear foot elevated split squat machine. What Kyle's going to do here is place that heel back on top of the foam roller or the roller here, drive his hips down into a hinged position, and then think about rotating his belt buckle up towards the ceiling and holding that deep stretch here. What I'd like to do in this position as well is use that front foot to just push ourselves a little bit further into that stretch. We're trying to get a massive stretch on the inside of the hip, keeping a nice upright position, and just going for our 5 deep breaths, performing this on each side. Couch stretch is the name of it because we want you to put your foot on something that's comfortable. So we're not doing chairs or tables or anything like that, but something that's going to be a little bit soft that you can hold that weight on that leg without any kind of pain or issue. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is take a foam roller for a hip rotator stretch. So we're going to place our shin right on top of that foam roller. And then once we're there, we're going to use our hands to roll ourselves back into a nice position for that hip flexor. We're trying to look for a long spine as we get from our shoulder all the way down, basically through our foot. And from here, thinking about dropping our hips like a stone down into the floor, going for 5 deep breaths on one side, 5 deep breaths on the other. If you don't have a foam roller at home, you can get something similar out of this with a pillow or some kind of soft elevation just to raise that hip up like we do for some of our stretches here in the gym to get a little bit better stretch in this position. Okay? Next thing we're going to take a look at is our 90-90 internal external rotation. So we're in that 90-90 position, and what we want to think about is trying to take this back leg. We are going to drive our left knee into the ground, raising our left foot off the ground if we can, and we're going to repeat that 5 times on each side. Now this is going to be pretty tough. The most important part about this movement is not necessarily getting your foot 6 inches off the ground, but it's trying to create that connection, right? That can be sometimes enough to get this to actually work and get a meaningful increase in our range of motion. We'll do that 5 times in one direction. After that point, we're going to do the opposite. Kyle's going to drive his left foot into the ground, trying to raise his left knee as high as he can off the ground, maintaining that same strict posture. He's using his left hand to kind of brace off that foot to hold that position. Chest is oriented over to that knee to hold that posture through his upper body. So all this movement is coming through just his hip. So again, we're just pushing through that heel, raising that knee up as high as we can. Okay? Once we've completed 5 in each direction, we're going to get ourselves into an all-fours position. We're going to brace our knees out like we're getting ready for a squat. Nice wide position. From that point, Kyle's going to stick one leg out off to the side. We're going to go into a hip adductor rockback. We're keeping that foot flat just to get a little bit of extra range of motion through the ankle. And then Kyle's going to be sitting back towards that heel, keeping a nice long spine posture. And we're going to do that 5 times on each side, rocking forward, rocking backward, trying to get a nice stretch to the inside of that hip. And if we can, we're trying to get a little bit more range of motion with each of these rockbacks, obviously trying to avoid any kind of pain. Speaking of pain, our last exercise is going to be a seated leg lift. Now, this is going to work best when we have some kind of target to lift our leg over, in this case, a yoga block or anything that's going to be relatively low to the ground. So Kyle's going to start with his feet pointed up. He's holding his hands flat, nice straight line through his torso, and he's working really hard, I promise you, to lift his leg up and over this yoga block. Now, the trick to make this movement challenging and effective is by keeping his posture upright. If Kyle were to lean back and lift this leg up, easy, right? You see the difference, right? Now, he's not just showing off. But if we keep that strict upright posture, now there's much more work on that hip rotator, on that hip flexor, working super hard through here. We're going to go just 3 to 5 on each side. That sounds light, but this is a really tough exercise. So this is going to be really beneficial for us, starting with that nice wide position, shifting our feet left and right over some small target. The cool thing about this as well, let's say using a yoga block, we can try to modify this and maybe raise it up a little bit higher depending on how you're feeling. If you're feeling really challenged for that day, you're okay. Don't worry about it. But let's take a look at all 5 of these exercises. Get yourself ready for the holidays. Get yourself ready for everything that has to entail. And we look forward to hearing what you think about it. Give it a shot. Try it out at home.